Hello, beautiful audience, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my story, your testimony show. Blessed be the Lord who made it possible for us to be in your company today. On this edition, we'll be receiving a beautiful, vibrant, talented young lady. She is called Ruth Maddy. Ruth Maddy is here to share her testimony with us. Stay tuned till the end, and I'm sure the Lord will do you well through this testimony. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Fidelia.
You're welcome to my story.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great by the grace of God, and I hope you too.
I am. Thank you very much. You're here to share your testimony with us. But before then, tell us what is the story behind this testimony?
Oh, the story behind this testimony can be a very long one and not really calm at all because actually, as you said, I'm a young girl. But after I had my advance, I think in the year 2014. So by then it's been like we are going to 8 years or 9 years right
Okay.
now. So actually, normally in the normal cycle education, normal educational system, after the advance, you have 3 years to have a degree.
Yeah.
But actually, when I went into university, I faced many difficulties. So when I crossed year one, crossed year 2, I found myself in year 3, but not advancing.
Okay.
So repeating the same year. And what was worse about that is that each time I repeat, I had the same results like the first time I repeated. So
Okay.
it's just like they were just recovering
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
marks.
Yeah.
So I felt like at a period of time, like let's say like 2019 going to 2020, I felt so much discouraged. I felt like giving up. But by the grace of God, with the Daddy, I discovered Daddy through the television Canal 7 Gospel.
Oh, Daddy, you mean? By
Yes,
Daddy, you mean?
the prophet Samuel Onsi.
Okay.
So I came across through the mission Hour of Solution.
Okay.
So it was a Saturday morning. I think it was a Saturday. I don't really remember the day. Actually, he was online. He was on air that day, and he was praying about difficult situations that have lasted in your life over and over.
Yeah.
And you're facing difficulties. And at a certain moment at the emission, he gave the possibility to call.
Okay.
So I was like, but why don't you give a try and call? You want to know? Just give a try and call. So I decided that day to call. And when I called, he picked up the phone. I told him, like, that is the situation I'm facing right now.
Okay.
He said, okay, come. He gave me an appointment the following Sunday.
Yeah.
Appointment, which I came that Sunday. But before going to that, by the grace of God, I thank God for the parents he gave me because while I was getting discouraged, while I was like feeling like giving up, my mom said, no, she's a child of God. She doesn't believe that I can finish like that. So she decided to register me in a professional school
Okay.
that I started in 2020. And still in that 2020, I was still doing year 3
Oh, in the university.
in the university.
Okay.
So while entering year 1 in the professional school, I was still in year 3 in the university.
Okay.
So that's how, after the program of our solution with Prophet Samuel, I arrived here Sunday. I think it was February 2020. I think, yeah, February 2020. I arrived here on Sunday, and the program was just, the service was just so awesome, the service was just wonderful. And the issue about that day is, I've been a child of God, I've been going to ministry, I've been a child of God, like, but when I entered here, I felt home.
Oh, yeah.
I like I don't know, but I don't know how to explain, but I felt home. I was just at peace. I was just like, oh,
Like you'd been here for a while.
yeah, you know
Like
that
you've been there for a while.
yeah, you know that
okay.
feeling. You just enter
Yeah.
a place for your first time, but it's like it's your house. You can
Yeah.
just put everything on a
Yeah.
place. You can know that's a baby.
Yeah.
I'll keep my bag. Oh,
You're
you are
just familiar
home.
the environment. You just feel familiar with the environment. You just feel that peace. You just
Yeah.
feel like that is the place.
Yeah. So I was like, So after that Sunday, I left and I told mom I've been somewhere, and to be precise, that Sunday, I was supposed to have an appointment with the prophet after the church service.
Yes.
But I didn't have the appointment. I didn't like bother to look for him that
Okay.
day, and I
Okay.
was like, this episode over. Let me just. I went back home, and I think 3 months later I was coming. I was constant in the programs and everything. It's 3 months later. 3 months later that I finally met him face to face, and
Okay.
that it was not even that I was going to him again to explain to him that
The problem
the
that
problem
brought
that
you.
brought me equally, because
Okay.
there was an appointment. I think it's a special month that he programmed the reception, the
Okay.
one-to-one reception that he usually did that by that time. So I was not going in my name, I was going in my mom's name. So she
Okay.
said, okay, since I cannot do it, go and make it up for me. And that's the day I met him personally. I think it was 3 months or 4 months later. So at that time, that is where he said, okay, what are you doing? I said, okay, this is what I'm doing. He said, I'm seeing you going very far with this, but okay, you speak perfectly English, you speak perfectly French.
Yeah.
Tomorrow there's a mission. Just meet me on a mission and you interpret me.
Oh, I must precise here, dear audience. I didn't introduce Ruth from the very beginning. Ruth here is a community manager and an interpreter at the Cathedral of Signs and Wonders. She is perfectly bilingual. Isn't that wonderful? Can we go on?
Yeah, we can. So that is how I found myself like in the ministry, it's working with the prophet. So the first weeks I started working with him. As I said, I felt home. So every morning I was to come. Well, the day we had programs, day of the hour of solution, I came to the programs, and during that period we had to have the normal session.
Yeah.
So I wrote the exams. I wrote that year, and I still failed.
Oh.
And the results came, was funny. What is funny about it, it came, I was here on the mission, our solution,
Okay.
interpreting.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like, again.
Again, but tell me, Ruth. Let me interrupt you for a while. You said, let me take you back. Few, you said few moments ago. You said that you enrolled into a professional school while still haven't completed your third year in the university. Tell me, how did you manage your program, your schedule in
How did
school?
I cope?
How did you go about it? How did you cope with that?
The issue is that since in the professional school, it's like in college. You go
Okay.
from Monday to Friday or from Monday to Saturdays. And from 8 to 4 at times you can go further. But since I've already spent so many years in the universities,
Okay.
what I had is that at the beginning of the year, as I registered, I buy my notes, I come back in the house, I revise. I just make sure that I keep in touch with the university when they program the evaluations and everything. I take permission from the professional school because I explain to them my situation that I cannot
Okay.
drop. I'm not in a university, so at times of exams, you guys need to give me
Yeah.
a permission. So during the exams period, that's how.
Okay, that's how you organize
That's
yourself.
how I
You will take
organize
the
myself.
breaks from the other side when you had an exam to write in the
Yeah.
other. Okay,
So
just
that
go
is how
ahead.
it was going.
Okay.
So there is that 2020 again, 2021 again, I failed and the message came. It fell on me like, what? Again? Again? And that day it was so hard.
It was just
Really?
like a bombshell.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. Because actually, the most of my friends, my batch, they are like, oh my god, very, very
Advanced,
advanced
yeah.
and very far.
Yeah.
So I was like, God, so it's what you brought me into? Like, is it really what you brought me into? Because just to cut something, just to tell something about it, because I started the Francophone education.
Okay.
I started Francophone education.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. They were to change me school one day. I think I was going to class 2.
Okay.
They were to register me in a bilingual school. The thing is just, I just entered the school. I said, no, I'm no more going to French. I will do English.
Oh.
So in the house, it's like, everybody said, c'est ton anglais que tu as choisi là.
So they were putting the blame on you for your successive failures. They were putting it like
At the time, it was like,
the blame is on you.
our times like since you did the anglophone, maybe they don't read English, what you're writing at
Okay,
times.
yeah,
So you know, at the time when you fail and you fail and you fail, they look for a reason. They look for a reason.
yeah.
They look again
Yeah,
for,
that they say the fault was yours because you decided to switch.
for a reason.
Okay.
And I think there's something I really did not say, but I think it's important for me to say it. There's something I had at that issue, at that program, at that period, because I arrived in year 2, I got pregnant.
Okay.
I had a child.
Okay.
So it is later on, I was asking God, so is this still a punishment or something like? Because I felt so much. And what to come back again to the day I had that report, Mom, when we got downstairs, he looked at me. He did not talk. He just said the prophetess to me. she was the one that encouraged me with her testimony. She said, see my life like this. I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this. And I said, okay. And I took it back again on me. And the following year again, that was in 2022.
You went back to school.
I went back to school
Yes.
again.
Yes.
That was now, I was going to year 2, professional school.
Okay.
And I failed again.
Oh. Oh Lord.
And I failed again. And I failed again. And with
That was just too much for you.
It was too much for me.
And then I even, let me say, you were even so strong enough to withstand all of this, because someone would have given up.
It was too much for me. So the only thing that I had that was like keeping me, holding me still, was the prophet, the teachings, and mom in the house, and the fact that I had a professional school that would say, at least, yeah, maybe I'm doing something like right.
Okay.
So with that, this teaching, I was just, for me, looking all that, I was asking God that, but why? To the moment he showed me that it is just for a reason. I want you to know why I'm doing this, because I came to realize that when God is preparing you for something, you need to pass by many things.
Yes.
And for me, it was, as I earlier said, I was a child of God, but which child of God? I want to advise many youths watching at me. The God of your parents can be your God, and he can be good to you, but actually you need to know your God and discover who God is for you. So it was a period for me to begin to seek God and not more rely on the God of my mother.
Okay.
So when I understood that, I got into it like really seriously, and I said, God, no, this time you and I must discover something. So by the grace of God, with the prophet teachings and the declarations, and I started understanding the word. I started opening myself to be a child of God and to rely as a person on God, not to rely on the parents' prayers and on the it's true what they are doing is great, but at a certain moment, you as a person, you need to find the blessing.
Your blessing through, and by finding your identity.
You find an identity. You know, Isaac is the son of Abraham. But at the same time, even his grandson, Jacob, he had to kneel down. Despite all the blessings Abraham had, that was for his sons. He had to kneel down and fight with God one night and said, you must bless me. I have the blessings of my fathers and my grandfather, but you, my God, I want to know you. You have seen me, I see you, but you, the God, I want you in my life. So at a certain moment, that is why we Christians must do. And that's that time I started really digging that, God, I want to know you. God, I'm here for a purpose. And I started really entering into it. And by the grace of God, the prophet put me close to him with the ministry. And while standing there, he declared, he preached the teachings. At times I will interpret and I will go off because I'm really like, what? The teaching is something else. And by the grace of God, last year, 2023, I arrived at the point, I was in third year professional school. And I was doing the degree. And one day, during the service, he prayed, he declared and everything. Prophet Samuel usually says, his greatest weapon God has given him are prophetic declarations. I can assure to you, people of God watching me, this is what can be. There's nothing more true and more real than this. During one service, he was declaring, and he said, that cycle that have been going on, that after you arrived at something 3 years, and you're still failing. Every time you try, you go on 3 years and you still fail. I break up that cycle. I said, God, this won't lose me this time around. I cling myself to this word and I hold it. And some months later, I wrote again. And I said, okay, God, over to you this time. Over to you, I give it on to you. So I remember we were coming out from a program with the prophet, we coming out from a program. I received a message and my name was like admitted.
Wow.
I was.
Finally.
Finally.
Like, finally.
And the prophet was I told him that he said, oh, that mountain has finally fallen.
Oh, man.
And I was like, 2023, as it answered to his name, the year of change of season.
Exactly.
I said, oh God, Lord, I entered my season of success this year.
Exactly. And I remember that, year of change of season was a declaration. The prophet declared that year.
Mm-hmm.
That was the prophetic word for the year. 2023 was going to be a year of change
Change of
of
season.
season. And besides that, he gave every individual prophetic words.
Mm-hmm.
And each so many people have testified that their words worked for them.
Yeah.
It works for them.
It worked
And
for
I am
them.
sure you also received yours that
Yeah.
equally works
I
for
received
you.
my word. It's true, I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But it worked for me. It
Okay.
really worked for me.
Okay.
So I was like, God, you did it. God, you did it. So, and equally, by the way, in the professional school, I still had a professional degree, and I came out, I think, third of my batch.
Wow.
And at the same time, just in a period of 2-3 months, I was so grateful to God.
Wow.
As if that was not enough, I was like, oh God, you did it. You've given me, and you said you do everything right at your time. And after that, 1 month passed, 2 months passed. I wanted to enter in such a, oh God, do I even have a job? But after you've done
You
all
started
these
getting
things,
depressed again.
God, I will not say depressed, but I was just questioning because now God really taught me something. I was not more depressed, I was just in a questioning way.
Okay.
God, when? It was more in a God, when? God, when? So, and by the grace of God, that the prophet usually says, testimonies are prophecies.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the church here, we had so many testimonies about people that remain without jobs, about many testimonies. And the testimony again that boosted me was that of Vanessa, if you can remember.
Yeah, Vanessa.
I told God that, but this cannot be, we cannot do this. And I stay and I'm worried. No, I can't be worried.
Yeah,
I
you
know
can't be left
I can't be
out.
left out. I know, I don't know when, but let me just take this program this time and relax and enjoy my work in the ministry because I know mine is coming. So
Okay.
everything in the house, I was like, oh, Father, I don't know how, I don't know but when, but what I know is I'll have a nice job.
Okay.
And the thing about it is that I said, God, I was doing an internship somewhere, by the way, and I was finishing like really late, and I was working on Saturdays. I told God, like, you know, I cannot work like that. I'm not meant for that work. It's too much for me. So I remained and I waited 1 month, 2 months. But every day, without the job, jobless, I was telling myself, oh no, I will have a good job in AC, nice, beautiful office. And I'll do that without job. After being refused jobs so many places, I was like, oh, I don't know when, how, but I will have it. So one Sunday, we began a series of teaching on grace. One Sunday, one morning, first of all, one morning, I would just receive a call of a person I don't know. He said, are you this person? I say, yes, sir. He said, but you deposited your file in this company. I was like, which company? They gave me the name of the company. I said, in my heart, I said, no, I did not. He said, okay, you have an interview this day. I said, okay, sir. But when I switched off the phone, I went back to my mails just to check back that, no, I've never deposited in your company. But God, what is this? By the grace of God, I went to the interview. First day, I had 1 hour to do it. It was a test.
Okay. Okay.
I had 1 hour for the test. But my computer, my PC went off.
Oh, it just got stuck.
Yeah, it
when
got
you
stuck.
had to go in for the test.
Yeah, it just got stuck. And the man was like, are you sure, ma'am, that you will go? I said, yeah, you will go. Let's just do something. He said, okay, if you have not been able to do the test, we are just going to pass to the questioning part.
Okay.
Just to
That's
say
through
that
the oral. Okay, you had to do the practical and the
oral.
Okay.
And the oral was to be online because the bosses of the company are not here.
Okay.
So just to tell you that when God wants to do his thing, he makes sure that the hand of a man is not behind it.
Yeah.
He wants his glory.
Yeah.
That day, I went, even at the interview, at the orals, I don't even really know what I said. After realizing that all the questions they were asking me, I knew them, but I forgot everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, I just went out with that, I said, God, I know it is finished. Just to remain 2 or 3 days later,
Yeah.
they called me again. They say, ma'am, it's true, it never went on well. But the director of the school, who is not in the country, of the company who is not in the country, he wants to discuss with you. I was like, really? He said, yes, but this time around it's an online meeting on Zoom. I said, okay, at least my PC can handle Zoom. Again, it did not go.
It didn't go.
It didn't go. I was getting them, but they were not getting me. For 30 minutes again,
wow.
it did not go.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. This time around now, it's over. They can't. Twice, they can't again.
Yes. Uh-huh.
After that, he texted me later on WhatsApp. He said, "Ma'am, I don't know, but the director of the school says you yourself program a day that you have a PC that is working, and you call us. We shall be online for the meeting."
Wow.
I was like, "Yes." He said, "Those are the directives of the director. That's what you
Wow.
have to do. You yourself, when you have
Something unusual.
Unusual.
I mean, I have never witnessed this in any company as of today. We've never really seen this. And it is something just unusual.
Unusual.
Tell me it is in the hand of God. If this is in the hand of God, what is it? What else is it?
God made sure that was his hand."
Yeah.
He said, "Ma'am, program a meeting. The day you have a computer that is working and everything, program the meeting and let us know." I was like, "God, okay." I just tried to, since the PC I was sleeping, I just tried to help to borrow somewhere a computer, and I programmed the meeting. I let them know on WhatsApp. They said, "Are you sure this time around?" I said, "Yes, I'm sure." And the day the meeting, they came in the meeting, really. They really came. They accepted the link. We had the meeting. And it did not last 10 minutes. They just asked me one question. I was like, "So that meeting was for this question?"
Is this all about it?
It's all about it. So you just wanted to ask me the question. Just present yourself and ask me one question. That was
Question.
all about the meeting with a whole director.
Wow.
I was like, "Okay." And one of us said, "Okay, they'll call you later." And I forgot about it. And we are still in the month of grace.
Okay.
One Sunday, I think the second Sunday of
Yes.
grace,
Grace second Sunday of
Second
the
Sunday.
of the program.
of the program. The program that Sunday was, oh God, it was something else. I arrived home after the service. We got home. I decided to have take a nap and wake up for the midnight prayers. So I woke up around 9 p.m. just to go online. "Hello, madam. We've checked after all the interviews and the meetings we had. It's true there were some difficulties, but we want to work with you.
Wow. We want you.
We want you."
That job was for you.
I was like, which director texts on WhatsApp at past 8 to tell someone come and work for me the next morning?
I must make sure it is the right person.
And I, with all the boldness of God in me, I answered the text at that time. So "Yes, sir, it's a pleasure for me." And he replied back,
Wow.
like, "Okay, yes, these are the details of the contract and everything."
Wow. This is so unusual.
I was like looking at what was surprising was the time. I said, "God, can you be this real?
wow.
Can your grace be this real a Sunday at this time?" And I just fell on my knees in tears and I thanked God. The whole night I was just like, "God, this is real. I am working." And they gave me a salary range. That was not the end.
Wow.
The next Monday when I arrived in the office, they said, "Madam, okay, we went on this salary base, but we've decided to increase."
Oh wow. Just like that.
I
Hey,
just said,
this marvelous.
when I left the office, I said, "God, you know what?
I can feel the emotion in your eyes.
It is too much because
I can feel the emotion in your eyes.
maybe some cannot understand. It is so much.
Yeah.
It is too much." And they kept me in an office and they said, "We are sorry, this office is just temporary. We are having our new buildings. There you go and have one better office. We hope everything is okay for you."
Wow.
I just said, "But
Lord, you are too much.
Lord, you're too much.
Oh, wonderful.
Lord, you
This is
are."
amazing.
You are too much.
This is
So,
so
yeah.
amazing.
I just said, "God,
it's so amazing.
even actually every morning when I get out,
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I'm working in an AC office with a beautiful salary. With the times I asked, I'm not working on Saturdays. And I work to 5:30.
You just gave me what my heart desires.
And I was like, God, there is something more behind you. There is something more about you that I want.
Oh.
It's true, it's beautiful, but there is something more about you. So this year I've been like, so I'm just in the mood of like, God, thank you, thank you. When I get up in the morning to the taxi, like, God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's not real. And as if it was not enough again, the first day of job, my phone got bad. And the job I'm doing, I must have, it's true, they give me a phone in the office, they give me a new computer to work with.
Okay.
But I'm to have a new, my personal phone. The phone I had got bad. I said, but God, what am I doing? what am I doing today? I must work with a phone. I must have a personal phone. I said, okay. The Holy Spirit just said, but you were working somewhere. You had an internship somewhere where they were cell phones. But go back there and ask them for a phone. At the end of the day, I took my legs and I went to the office there. I bounced to the office. I usually call the chief agency, the mom. I said, Mom said, yes, daughter, what is it? I said, you refused to hire me. I had a job. I want a phone. She looked at me like, this child, you will kill me. I said, yes, I need a phone.
Yeah.
She looked at me and said, I can do something now. I said, use your home. You can just draw me something out. I need a phone. She had 2 phones. She took 1 phone and gave me her phone.
Oh, just see how grace still works for
She
you.
gave me her phone and said, the day you have a phone, give me back the other one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can go on and on and on with this beautiful testimony.
And I'll be like,
I mean, it is such a marvelous testimony. Let me still recall here that at the beginning of this year, Prophet Samuel Lonti established this program on 4 Sundays,
Yeah.
themed grace, 4 Sundays of grace and glory.
Glory.
It's not long we had an emission here with one of our invitees who equally testified of the grace she received at the beginning of this year. And this was during the second Sunday, that was specifically dedicated to the blessing of careers. And Ruth Maddy here is equally here to testify about this second Sunday, where she too raised what represented her career,
Yeah.
and the Lord answered her that same night. Prophet Samuel Lonti is a man indeed mandated for the liberation of humanity. If you know who he is, I mean, you each time you hear his name or you hear a message about him, you won't even joke. So Ruth is here to continue with her testimony. Ruth, tell us, for how long have you been at the Cathedral of Signs and Wonders?
I'll go on 3 years and a half now. Because 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Let's say 2021.
2021, okay. So
It's been 3 years.
it's been 3 years here, and I still have to precise that during this program of 4 Sundays of Grace and Glory, the prophet kept on reminding and insisting and bringing up the definition of grace. He said,
yeah.
grace is what? Help from above.
Help from above.
And everything that came around your testimony
Yeah.
came from above.
Came from above. That was just,
Because-
it says the hand of God also. Another definition is the hand of
The
God.
hand of God.
Really the hand of God.
Yeah.
Because at times, that the prophet said something really serious. Something you can't explain. Just know it is grace.
It is grace.
Because I am unable to explain, because as I said earlier, I never sent my documents to that company. Till now, I don't know. And to tell you something again very serious about that is that the same company where I am actually, my teachers who taught me and my colleagues, they do work there.
Oh,
So when I got
just to tell you, one of the messages of the prophet, he kept one of his prophecies.
Yeah.
What did he say?
that he will put you 5 years ahead of your equals.
Of your equals. Okay.
So I found myself in the corridors of the company,
Okay.
calling my head of department, my teacher colleague.
Colleague. I mean.
I God.
So you find yourself competing with your seniors, with your superiors,
Yeah.
with your instructors.
My instructors.
Those who are supposed to be your boss. I mean, that still reminds us of Prophet Samuel Lonti's blessings and declarations and prophecies upon his children that you will be lifted up and you be at the level, in fact,
Kings.
ahead. Kings
And
yeah.
priests.
He raised all his children to the level of kings and priests. And we still want to recall that it took you several years from the university till the time you completed. How many years was that?
We are going on to 8, 9, let's say 2018. You are going to 8 years.
8 years already.
9.
8 years. You took 9 years to complete a first degree, a
First-
bachelor's
a
degree.
bachelor's degree.
9 good years.
9 years.
At that time, I'm sure, how did you really feel at that moment? You were so depressed. You felt everything was...
No, I felt everything wrong, everything wrong.
You felt God had forgotten about you by then.
Because at the time, even, some calls you were receiving from people, they were like insults. I had some classmates. We began together in the university. One day, one just called me, excuse-moi, s'il te plaît, est-ce que tu connais comment est-ce qu'on fait pour retirer la licence à l'université? Ah oui, c'est vrai, j'ai oublié, je n'ai pas encore eu ta licence.
Oh, Lord.
Can you
I can
imagine that
imagine
on
how
you?
you felt. Yeah, but
Can you-
today, But today,
But today,
but today, that is within
ah,
a twinkle of,
I blinking of an eye.
yeah, blink of an eye, the Lord just turned your story.
Two
Okay.
degrees,
Yeah.
one wonderful job,
Wow.
a rank in his ministry,
Wow.
and
And I must precise that Ruth Maddy is one of the best interpreters at the Cathedral of Signs and Wonders. That's why I said from the very beginning that we are receiving today a young, talented, brilliant lady. Do not mind all the problems she went through, her academics and whatsoever. The Lord was preparing something, a special something for her, and she's here to testify today. Ruth, thank you so much for this beautiful testimony. A message please to our beautiful audience listening to us here today.
oh, I would like to thank God. I would like to thank God. And there's something Prophet usually says that really worked for me. He says the first destiny helper you have in your life is the prophet God have placed over your head. And I'm very grateful from my heart to the prophetic couple because they have been for me mentors, and I cannot explain. You know, at times, to you viewers all over the world, what you need to be blessed by the man of God God have placed over your life is not to be with him and discussing with him face to face. Connection is an issue, it's a matter of heart. It's a matter, he usually says, tu n'es pas dans ma veine. It's a matter of heart. You just need to be connected no matter where you are looking. Just connect yourself because that's the first destiny helper. He's the mouth of God
Yeah.
upon your life. So just follow, listen, love from your heart. And you know that
Amen.
time of awaiting is a time that keeps that waiting time. It's a time at times that it disturbs, you feel discouraged.
Yes, you feel discouraged. Lots of temptation coming around.
Lots and lots. But you know, just look unto God.
Look unto God.
Just look unto God. Because he said the expectation of the righteous shall not be cut off.
Yeah,
Not be cut off.
yeah.
And he says, even if prophecies delay, no matter how it delays, it shall fulfill.
Amen.
So just trust God and everything will be okay.
Amen. Ruth is transmitting this message. We can feel a lot of emotion. She has tears of joy in her ear, in her eyes. Ruth, thank you so much for accepting to come and share this wonderful testimony, for encouraging other young, talented ladies like you out there.
Not to give up.
Thank you for transmitting the message of Prophet Samuel Lonti. Let's recall that Prophet Samuel Lonti is the main leader of the Cathedral of Signs and Wonders located at Tekase, at a place called Prodish Anho. No matter your situation, no matter what you're going through in life, do not hesitate to come and lay your problems, he will help you channel your problem to God, and certainly you will be here the next to testify as Ruth just did. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for accepting to share your time with us. Thank you for connecting always to Canal 7 Gospel TV and Liberation Radio. We wish you a beautiful time and hope to see you again soon for our subsequent edition. We love you so much. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Amen.